The year was 1948, and Gridball was finally ready to step out of its Shoeburyness cradle. 4 teams, 4 new homes, and a season ahead that would shape the sport's future. In London, the capital side settled into Wembley, proudly adopting the name Middlesex as they did so. North of the border, Glasgow took up residence in the Grand Kelvin Hall. Meanwhile, Liverpool and Birmingham were more pragmatic, lacing up for matches in a pair of ice rinks, even as they began the hunt for arenas to truly call their own. These were the first trial matches, the proving ground before the eyes of a curious public and the BBC. In the summer of 1948, Gridball caught a remarkable break. The BBC, preparing to cover the upcoming Olympic Games, needed experience filming sport inside an arena. And Gridball, still new, still hungry for exposure, was a perfect fit. In June and early July, the cameras went up at the Empire Pool, broadcasting all 3 Middlesex home games to the very small audience who owned a television set at the time. It was, in hindsight, a gift for the sport. The first game, though, was not the dream debut. Middlesex and Liverpool played out a goalless draw of almost spectacular dullness, just 1 shot on target between them. But fortunately, almost no one was watching. What mattered more was that the BBC got what it wanted, practice and a sense of goodwill toward Gridball. And that would be repaid in full with live Saturday broadcasts for the next 3 decades. If the test match had been a bore, the rest of the 1948 summer series at least gave people a little more to talk about. 8 matches in all, 4 at Kelvin Hall in Glasgow and 4 at Wembley, with the trophy presented at the end. Not the gleaming Supergrid prize we know today, and no one called the winners world champions. But Birmingham took it home after winning 3 of their 4 games. By today's standards, the quality was patchy. The sport was still learning to walk, and most of the players wouldn't make the leap into the fully professional game in 1951. But even in a fledgling sport, moments of history can be made, including your humble narrator, me, Grace Thorne, scoring Gridball's first ever competitive goal in Birmingham's 4-0 win in Glasgow. Back in 1948, Gridball took its first step onto the international stage. 4 brand new franchises were confirmed: Paris and Lille, our first continental sides, joined by a fresh team for Leeds and a 3rd for London. All 4 were set to make their debut in the Championship of 1953, and the sport had never felt so full of promise. For Glasgow, though, 1948 was a tough one. They finished bottom of the summer series. But if there's one thing the Claymores know, it's how to come back fighting. They stayed at the old Kelvin Hall until 1965, before crossing the Clyde to open a new home right across from Ibrox Stadium. In 1985, they moved again, doubling their crowd capacity at the Scottish Exhibition Hall. And in 2014, they stepped onto the court of the spectacular OVO Hydro in front of 12,000 roaring fans. Their rivalry with Lanarkshire might not match the old firm for heat, but it's got every bit of the passion. From day one, Claymore supporters have belted out "I Belong to Glasgow," and since 2010, they've made their walk-on to the soaring drama of Adagio for strings. It's history, heart, and Scottish pride, all rolled into one team. So if you're a Ouija with a passion for flute bands and British pride, the Claymores should be your team.